What's up, Tim?
Going on?
How are you, bro?
Good
Good.
overall.
Good overall?
It's been a week, but yeah,
It's been a tough week, huh?
it's been a tough week.
Since it's just me and you. How can I serve you? What are you working on? How do we get some deals in today?
Yeah, I definitely have some coming in, at least one for sure. But I'm just working through catching back up. That's the hardest thing. Like when you get in that, you're in the flow state personally, and then you get out in the personal life type of things.
Yeah.
That's the hardest thing for me to overcome, honestly, because everything else I'm fine with usually, but
So when you're in flow state and then personally you get dragged out, like
yeah.
you're killing it with work, you're on it, and then it's just like,
It's just like other things just keep on happening. You're like,
yeah,
what?
yeah. I think, what's up, Nate? How you doing?
What's going on, Sean? Doing good. How you doing?
Doing well. Nate, you've met Tim, right? You guys met
The
before?
first meeting? Yeah.
Okay, right on, right on. Yeah, Tim's on Homeschooled by Tarek's sales team. Nate is on Start Virtual's sales team.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think for me, Tim, Nate, we were talking about like when you're in flow state with work, and then something will happen in the personal life, and you're like, "Fuck, I just got into flow state with work. Now I'm getting sucked out." Right?
Yeah.
Obviously, you can't script everything. There's tons of variables that come up, but I think the thing that helps me is just the time blocking, right? And trying to create a routine that completely separates those, not completely separates those, because you can't do that, right? You can't
Right.
100% compartmentalize anything, but that allows me and the people around me to know that like this is the time for this. You know what I mean? So I think that helps. And when you can ebb and flow in and out of your routine, because you've done it so much, where your routine's at. But other than that, I think it's just a mental battle, it's just a mental battle of understanding that everything will pass, right? This too shall pass. It's temporary, right? Is what it is, detachment. And the sooner that we realize that, the sooner we detach from it, I think the sooner that it starts to pass.
Do you have any practices that like ground you back into like away from, like, let's say you have a terrible things going on personally and you're just like, I just need to ground back into this. Do you have anything to do?
Yeah, 100%. So can you hold on one second? I gotta get some water. I just got back from the gym and
How's everything at Start Virtual, Nate?
It's going well. It's going well. Actually, that's funny how you guys brought that up as far as like personal things. Like I just probably went through the worst whole week just because I just tore my Achilles tendon for the second time. And just mentally, it's just been so
dude, I didn't even
hard to
hear.
kind of get into it.
When was this? Did I hear about this?
Yeah, I did it last week, last
I didn't
Saturday.
know you tore your Achilles, bro. I thought you just like messed.
Yeah. Oh no, I ruptured my right Achilles tendon last year, and then I just played basketball last week, and I ruptured my Achilles tendon again, but on my left leg. So I've been stationary, haven't been able to walk, can't really do much of any sort of walking, and man, it's been a real bummer. I just had a
Yeah.
9-month-old, so I can't even like walk her, kind of like do the things
Yeah.
I want to do. So that's been like the biggest personal thing that I've gone through, especially kind of just staying focused with sales and all that and being in pain. So that's one of the things. So
Yeah, man. That's really tough. What's the diagnosis? Do you need surgery or what?
I just did my MRI yesterday. It was a pain in the ass to get that done, but I'll find out in a couple of days here.
Yeah. Wow, dude, that sucks.
It's all good.
Yeah, I think, Tim, to answer your question, and Nate, maybe this will help. There was a couple talk tracks that I developed, right? That I found worked for me, right? And anytime that I would start to experience any type of anxiety, pain, grief, negativity, victim mentality, man, this sucks, woe is me, any of this stuff, I would just stop. And this is what worked for me. Maybe you find your own talk track, you find your own thing. I would stop. I would look outside, look up in the sky, or go outside. I would go like this. This may sound really dumb. I'd go like this. What the fuck? Right? Because it just like brought me down to being so small and so insignificant. And I'm like I'm a fucking like a drop in the fucking ocean, right? Like what the fuck, man? Birds and mountains and like this, like what in the actual fuck are we doing here? Right. And then it makes me feel like, okay, I mean, get that sale. What do you fucking do? You know what I mean? Like, oh, I hurt my Achilles. Oh, I hurt my back. I hurt my shoulder, whatever. Like, and it may sound morbid, but it's actually extremely liberating. Like, we're all going to die. We're not making it out of this alive. Like, nothing really matters. And it may sound, that was for me, right? That was what worked for me. It was hitting my chest, looking around at the trees, looking at how small I am in everything. And then just realizing, like, you know, like scroll out. You guys ever looked at a picture of like the galaxies, like not just the Milky Way, but like all of it? And we're worried about like, you know, this thing didn't happen on time or whatever. Like, what in the actual fuck, right? And then you kind of joke about it, right? You start to laugh like this, and it's like it becomes less significant over you and has less power over you. So that's one talk track that really helped me a lot. And then another one was developing just that Moneyball mentality that we talk about, right? That it doesn't matter what the next step is, right? It doesn't matter if my mom dies tomorrow. It doesn't matter if I get $1 billion check tomorrow. It doesn't matter if my next step is on broken glass, if my next step is off a cliff, if my next step was on a white sandy beach. It doesn't matter, right? Because what's the alternative? Quit, stop playing the game? You can't do that. I mean, you can, but obviously I don't think anybody here is at that point, right? But right, like what's the alternative? So you have to take the next, step, right? And so that Moneyball mentality that was just like, it doesn't matter. And it just helps me detach more and more from the outcomes of things where it's like, okay, this is the situation I'm in right now. Right. And then also just understanding that without one, the other doesn't exist. Right. Unity is plural at minimum too. If you want to feel whole, if you want to feel fulfilled, if you want to have experiences to their fullest, if you try to eliminate the dark side of it, right, you're going to only experience it to halfway, you know? So it's not that we try to eliminate these negative or bad or dark or, you know, things in our life. We change the dynamic of our relationship to them, knowing that they're necessary for the next thing to take place. Right. And then they stop becoming stop having so much power over you. And you realize that now actually those bad things are actually good. They're actually serving me. They're actually helping me. Right. So Nate's situation, right? His Achilles, there's something here for Nate. Right. And Nate can choose to lean into it. Right. And he can choose to figure out what that thing is and be the observer and have a high level of awareness around it. Or he can not. And, you know, and it'll be a lot more difficult of a time, and probably the healing process will take longer, and, you know, it'll probably carry over and debilitate his work life and his family life and all of these other things. But if he looks at this as, hey, this is a huge opportunity for me to, I'm not mobile right now. Hey, $200 is no problem. Or whatever it is. I'm not saying that's the thing, but whatever it ends up being, right? So understand. So I think for me, Tim, there's a couple talk tracks. One, hitting my chest, looking around, being like, what the fuck, right? Understanding that this too shall pass. Everything is just an experience. The good experience, the bad, it's only good and bad until we put that judgment on it, until we put that perspective on it, until we put our opinion on it, right? How many sides to the coin? There's 3 sides to the coin, right? We stand on the edge. So just keep coming back to the edge, coming back to the edge. You aren't those experiences, right? You aren't the reflection of that person hanging up, you know, or the Achilles or whatever it is, right? You're the observer of these experiences, the observer of these emotions, the observer of these feelings, right? You still get to feel them, but without the vacillation, you'd be dead, right? So I think it's just kind of understanding and trying to change the dynamic of how you feel about the experiences. And then there's levels to that, right? There's 4 levels to that mastery. There's the first part where you're you're not good at it and you know it, right? You don't have it. It's not a habit by any means, right? You're not even really that good. Then you start to practice it and you're good at times, but really you're not good. You're still not that great at it. Then if you practice it enough, you become good at it, but you have to focus on it and have a high level of awareness to be able to do that consistently. If you do that enough time, so in this scenario, if you go through those talk tracks enough time, whatever ones end up working for you, if you constantly are going through that detachment, right? And you're constantly going through that process of being the observer, practicing being the observer, right? Not casting judgment onto the experiences, but approaching them with all curiosity, like, what's this? What's next? What's for me here, right? If you do that enough, then you break through to a point, level 4, where it's just habit. It's just how you are, and nothing starts to affect you anymore, right? And that takes a ton of discipline. And the one of the biggest things is that environment's stronger than will, right? Every single time, environment is stronger than will, right? I don't care what anybody says, how mentally strong they are. Environment is stronger than will every single time. So what I found also, in addition to that, is cutting out a lot of things that weren't serving me, whether it was relationships, whether it was TV, whether it was whatever it was, just cutting out all the stuff that didn't serve me, right? And going to, going a little bit more inward. So that's what I found. That's what works for me. And it's a definitely a process and a practice, right? This is really, Tim, this is spirituality, right? Spirituality is the practice of awareness. So it's really the fundamental basis of all change, of all growth, of everything, is the practice of the awareness, because it isn't until we have an awareness of the thing that it exists for us. It's not sure if that helps, or if you found some talk tracks you might be able to pull out, but that money ball mentality really helped me. This too shall pass, understanding that we are so insignificant, right? But that's the dichotomy of life, which is a beautiful thing too, right? The tree grows down before it grows up, right? The drop of water in the ocean is still the ocean. Yeah.
Super helpful. Thank you.
What's up, Grayson? You're welcome.
I'm laughing right now. This is literally perfect timing. I woke up to fires and then I come on here. I'm like, shit. So thank you for that.
Love that, dude. Hey, man, look at that though. Like
It's weird, right? It's like crazy how that works, right?
It's the environment though, too.
And I was even contemplating, be like, well, I could go deal with this shit, or I can hop on this call. I'm like, I'm hopping on the call. I'm gonna stay consistent, and then boom.
Good stuff.
So
Yeah,
thank
man.
you.
Yeah, apologize about yesterday. Had to cancel last minute. Was not feeling great. Started throwing up when I got back from the gym. Passed out. Slept the entire day.
Shit.
Yeah, it was rough. But I feel like a new man today. So
Leg day.
ebbs and flows. Nope, I skipped leg day, bro. Yeah. So what else? What else are we facing? But I love that you brought that up, Tim, because I mean, we always talk about it, right? Skill, process, people. People transcends both of those things. And you're only going to show up as good as you feel. The process that you'll perform will only be as good as you feel about it. Right. And if you are in a mindset that's just like, man, everything sucks. It's like, and I'm not saying that's the mindset you're in. But it will definitely slow you down, right? Alexandra, Steven, what's going on? But yeah, skill, process, people. People is that most important thing. What's hot for you guys this week? You guys want to dive into anything? Just mindset stuff.
Yeah, mindset's good. I mean, I feel like I'm dialed in right now. Actually, I feel a lot better last week. So, yep.
Oh yeah. What about you, Nate? How you feeling? How's the mindset in light of your situation?
Felt like I needed that. I need that little kind of just it is what it is, just got to go after it.
Yep. Next step. What's next? Yep. And then you get in the habit of that though. And then it breaks past the victim mentality, because there's a little bit of woe is me inside of that as you're starting out, which is totally okay, right? It's the feeling of, in order to feel like you're everything, you first have to feel like you're nothing, right? In order to, it's a dichotomy of life, right? And so the process to fulfillment, the process to living in your power is actually losing yourself. Right? This is what Jesus said. You have to lose yourself to find yourself. Or Buddha, he went to extreme suffering, left his father's kingdom to reach enlightenment, right? It's the dichotomy of life. Again, a tree grows down before it grows up. So when we find ourselves in those situations, instead of trying to fight that and say, oh, I don't want that, I don't want that, I don't want that. Well, by doing that, we're actually attracting it more to us. Instead of surrendering to it and moving past it faster, we're delaying the process when we don't surrender to the bad experiences. Does that make sense? Once you get in the habit of experiencing, it starts out as like, oh fuck, woe is me. This is shitty, but whatever. Right. And then it kind of moves to a little apathy. You're like kind of stoic and apathetic towards everything. And then you move past that and you kind of move into this curiosity about life. Like, well, fuck. I mean, it doesn't matter at this point because I've gone through enough bullshit. I don't even care if more bullshit comes. Like, something good's got to be coming soon. I wonder when it's coming. Right. And now you're just approaching life with curiosity and excitement. You're like, I wonder what's next. It doesn't matter if it's good or bad. I wonder what's next. Right. And we can know through enough life experience that it's never going to stay one way or the other. Right. So stop trying to make it stay that way. Right? Instead, ride those waves, right? Let them be what they are. Use the flow as yourself, leverage it instead of trying to fight it the whole way. That's flow state. What's up, Grayson?
No, I think it was really powerful a couple weeks ago about the dirt bike stuff. And it was like, hey, I'm grateful that I even had one. I had something to lose. You know what I mean? It was like, and like for me, I'm just thinking about it right now, I'm having trouble with like tenants and all this bullshit, but you have properties to have those problems. I mean, like if I didn't have those properties, I wouldn't have these problems. So like being grateful for even having the opportunity to have those problems. And I think that's huge.
100%. I said, I used to pray for the problems I have now as if they were blessings. You know, I used to pray for some of the problems I have, like the problems I have in business. I used to pray to have a business like this. Now the problems, I used to pray for these blessings, or pray for these problems like they were blessings.
Yeah.
100%. What are you thinking, Tim?
I love this. And I was actually thinking the same thing, Grayson, because that story was in the back of my head. So I went through a really bad business deal this week, and like, it's going to be a big thing, but like the same thing, nothing matters. Like I have that situation. So it's fine. Like it doesn't matter. So it's like, why am I even worried? Like it's the stress, the stress can get to you in all the other aspects of life. But it's like, why am I even stressed about that? I shouldn't let it get to me. So yeah, this was really good. I'm really glad just to bring it back to front of mind. So yeah, it's good.
100%. 100%. Yep. And the irony is I got the motorcycle back because I was so detached. Right. But that's the irony. And this is why we approach goals differently than how a lot of people approach goals. Right. A lot of people approach goals with, what do I want? What do I want? What do I want? Right. And by wanting it, you're literally putting it further away from yourself, because want comes from a place of lack. I don't have. Right. And I don't have comes from a place of fear that I deserve or need something or want something that I don't have. That's also where entitlement comes from. That's where anger comes from, right? That victim mentality comes from. I feel like I deserve something I'm not getting, right? It's also a byproduct of living in the future or living in the past. Also, why gratitude induces that flow state too, like you're saying, right? Just get back to that gratitude. Oh, that's actually, Tim, thanking sprees. I know you've probably heard me say those before, but going on thanking sprees. Anytime I would feel that type of negativity, doubt, fear, stress, anxiety creep in, instantly just thankful that I have legs that I can walk. Like I'm thankful that I have internet, that I can run my business. I'm thankful that I have water, clean water to drink. I'm thankful that I have an apartment. I'm thankful that I have And I would just go, thank, until I forced myself into a gratitude. Like, holy shit, I have so much to be grateful for. Right. And now what does that do? It dissipates all the other noise around you. Right. It makes you present. And by it speeds up the cycle, that fractal process of going from significance to insignificance. Right? Because that's what it is. This is why Shakespeare's line, to be or not to be, has lasted throughout history. Right? That's the only decision that you have to make in any given moment. You have one decision: surrender or not. To be or not to be. If you choose not to surrender, then you get the illusion of choice, and that's when life gets complicated. You feel like you're making all these decisions. You feel like you're controlling all these outcomes, and you're really not. You're doing it all on the surface level, but nothing has changed. Right? To be or not to be. That's the only question. So that's where that Moneyball mentality comes in. At any given moment, I don't have to win the day. I don't have to win the week, right? I don't got to win the hour. I don't have to win this next 30 minutes. I don't have to win this meeting. I have to win the thought that I'm having right now. I just have to make one decision right now: surrender or not. And then again, you get in the practice and the habit of surrendering over and over and over and over again consciously. Then it becomes a habit, right? Then it becomes a part of who you are. That's just how you operate, right? And then you're constantly in this place of surrender, and then it's beautiful, and people are drawn to you, and they don't understand. How can I want that, right? Think about your sales calls when you're living in your power like that, right? People are drawn to that. People are attracted to that. The same reason that we're working together, right? People are drawn to it, but then it feels great because it's not a reflection of you, and you know that. It's just a reflection of the power through you. And you're just like, I'm just in surrender. Hey, you could do this too, and then you become an inspiration to people and a true leader. I'm going to share a quick video with you guys, and then we'll get out of here. It's just so good. It's so true.
I think we cut the saying off, so they can't make us play. We decided we're gonna finish what you started, sir. Yeah, so you must be, coach. You got shit to do, sir.
Got chills already.
Deepest fear is not that we are inadequate.
Oh, shit.
Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We were all meant to shine as children do. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. Sir, I just want to say thank you. You saved my life. Thank you, sir.
Pretty cool, huh? It gets me every time. But it's true. It's true. All right, y'all. That's all I got for you guys today. That was cool how all of that came out organically. But yeah, live in your power, guys. Understand that nothing matters. And that dichotomy of life says that without one, the other doesn't exist. So every experience just is what it is. It's up to you to make it good or bad. I see you on the board, y'all. Peace. Oh, Grayson hopped off. What are you grateful for, Nate?
That I jumped on today.
Let's
That
go.
was really good, man. I loved it.
Love it. Tim, how about you?
this meeting for sure is exactly what I needed today.
Love
Yeah.
it. Love it. I'm thankful that you guys showed up. I'm thankful that that was able to happen. I'll see you guys.
Yeah.
Peace.